On a distant planet named Zilara, the sun hung low in the sky, casting long shadows over the beautiful city of Luminara. This city was known for its sparkling rivers and lush green parks. The Xylarians, a gentle and colorful species, lived in harmony with nature. Among them were a group of young girls who were admired for their bright spirits and bravery. They played in the fields, danced under the sun, and cherished every moment together. But today, everything was different. A dark cloud of toxic gas leaked from a nearby mining facility, slowly creeping into the city. The girls, playing by the river, suddenly felt a sharp pain in their chests. They looked around, confused and scared. The once fresh air was now thick and deadly. Panic spread through Luminara as the gas poisoned the atmosphere. As the gas swirled through the streets, the girls struggled to breathe. Zara, the bravest among them, tried to calm her friends. "Stay together! We have to find help!" she shouted, but her voice trembled with fear. They ran towards the center of the city, hoping to find safety. But the gas spread too quickly. One by one, they began to fall to the ground, gasping for air. Meanwhile, a team of human explorers arrived on Zilara. They had traveled from Earth to study the planet's unique ecosystems. Captain Mark, the leader of the team, noticed something was wrong as they approached Luminara. "Look at that smoke!" he exclaimed. "We need to investigate." The humans landed their ship and rushed toward the city. As they got closer, they saw the chaos unfolding. People were running and many were collapsing. The sight shocked them. "We can't just stand here!" Dr. Lila, the team's scientist, cried out. "We have to help them!" Without wasting a moment, the humans sprang into action. They quickly set up a safe zone around their ship, using advanced technology to create a bubble of clean air. They handed out oxygen masks to anyone who could reach them. "Breathe this!" Mark shouted, urging a young alien girl to put on the mask. Her eyes widened with fear, but she obeyed. Dr. Lila knelt beside Zara, who was struggling to get up. "You're going to be okay. Just breathe slowly," she reassured her, carefully placing an oxygen mask over her face. Zara looked into Dr. Lila's eyes and saw kindness and determination. With each breath, she felt stronger. As more alien girls began to recover, they looked at the humans with mixed emotions: fear, confusion, and gratitude. Zara, still weak but hopeful, said, "Thank you for helping us." "The gas. It's coming from the mine." She pointed in the direction of the facility, her voice barely above a whisper. Captain Mark nodded. "We'll stop this. We need to find out what's happening at that mine." He turned to his team, rallying them with a fierce determination. "Let's gather our supplies and prepare for a mission. We can't let this continue." The humans, now fully committed to the rescue, worked together to provide first aid to the injured Xylarians. They listened to Zara and her friends, learning about the mining company that had caused this disaster. The girls explained how the company had ignored safety warnings, choosing profit over the safety of the people. As the sun began to set, casting an orange glow over the city, hope flickered in the hearts of both humans and aliens. Together they would fight against the danger-threatening Zilara. The humans, filled with determination, promised to uncover the truth behind the mining company. They vowed to protect the innocent alien girls and restore peace to this beautiful planet. In that moment, a bond began to form, a connection forged by bravery and compassion. They were from different worlds, but their hearts beat with the same rhythm of hope. With the gas still swirling around them, they prepared for the challenges ahead, united in their fight against the darkness that threatened their lives. The air around Luminara was thick with tension as the humans and Xylarians worked side by side. After the initial shock of their rescue, the alien girls slowly began to trust their human saviors. Zara, still feeling weak but determined, led the way, helping the humans understand their world better. Dr. Lila and Captain Mark spent hours talking with the girls. They listened carefully as Zara shared stories about her people and their connection to the planet. "We Xylarians live in harmony with nature," she explained, her voice growing stronger. "Our ancestors taught us to respect the land and water, but now that is in danger." Her big, bright eyes reflected both fear and hope. The humans were amazed by the Xylarians' way of life. The girls told them about their colorful festivals, where they danced and sang under the stars. They shared tales of their beautiful gardens filled with flowers that glowed in the dark. The humans felt a deep admiration for these brave girls who had faced such danger, yet still held on to their culture. As the day turned into night, a strange warmth began to spread among them. The humans set up a small camp near the river, using their advanced technology to create a safe space. They lit a fire, and the soft glow illuminated the faces of both species. Zara and her friends sat around the fire, still wearing the oxygen masks. But now they felt more relaxed. Zara looked at the humans and said, "Thank you for helping us. We were scared and alone." Dr. Lila smiled back at her, pleased to hear those words. "You are strong, Zara. You've shown bravery in the face of danger. We are here to help you." As they shared food and stories, a bond began to form. The humans learned to appreciate the girls' resilience and creativity. In return, the Xylarians started to trust the humans, seeing them not just as strangers, but as allies. However, they knew the threat was still real. The gas leak had to be stopped, and the mining company needed to be confronted. The Xylarians explained more about the mining operation, revealing that it was not just the toxic gas causing harm. The mines were destroying their land, polluting the rivers, and pushing the Xylarians further from their homes. Captain Mark frowned. "This is worse than we thought. We need to gather more evidence to show the galaxy how serious this situation is," he said. Zara nodded. "But we must be careful. The mining company has powerful connections. They won't go down easily." The humans and Xylarians spent the next few days planning their next steps. They worked together to create a strategy. The humans used their technology to gather data about the pollution levels, while the Xylarians mapped out the areas most affected by the mining activities. As they plotted their course, Zara and her friends became more involved. They offered their knowledge of the land, guiding the humans through the forests and rivers. Each day, the humans learned more about Xylara and its beauty, while the Xylarians grew more confident in their abilities. One afternoon, while exploring the outskirts of the mining site, they stumbled upon a hidden area filled with flowers and plants that had survived the gas leak. Zara knelt down, amazed at their resilience. "These plants should be dead," she said, puzzled. Dr. Lila examined the area closely. "They are strong. They adapt to survive just like you," she encouraged. Zara smiled, feeling inspired. "If these plants can survive, then we can too," she declared. This moment sparked a fire in both the humans and the girls. They realized they were not just fighting for their own lives, but for their worlds and each other. As their mission grew closer, so did their friendship. The humans felt a deep respect for the Xylarians, and the girls began to see the humans as more than just strangers. They were allies, united against a common enemy. With each passing day, they grew stronger together, ready to take on the challenges that lay ahead. Through laughter, shared meals, and stories, the foundation of trust was built. They were no longer just two different species. They were now friends and partners, ready to protect their homes and fight against the darkness that threatened their worlds. As dawn broke over the City of Luminara, the humans and Xylarians gathered for an important meeting. Captain Mark stood at the head of a small circle, his face serious. "Today we begin our investigation into the mining company," he announced, glancing at Zara and her friends. "We need to find out what is really happening at the mine and gather evidence to expose them." Zara nodded, her determination shining in her bright eyes. "We know the area well. We can show you the safest routes to the mine," she said. The other Xylarian girls cheered, feeling the rush of excitement and purpose. They were ready to fight for their home. The group set out early, the sun rising higher in the sky as they walked. Zara led the way, guiding the humans through lush forests and over sparkling streams. The air felt fresh here, far from the toxic gas that had plagued their city. As they traveled, they shared stories and laughter, the bond between them growing stronger. After a couple of hours, they arrived at the outskirts of the mining facility. The scene was grim. Large machines rumbled loudly, digging deep into the ground. Dust and smoke filled the air, and the humans quickly put on their masks. Zara and her friends, still recovering, felt the weight of sadness as they looked at their damaged land. Captain Mark pulled out a small device from his pocket. "This is a scanner. It can measure pollution levels," he explained. "We'll use it to collect data. If we can show how harmful the mining is, we can get support from other planets." The group carefully moved closer to the mine. They hid behind a large rock formation, watching the workers. Zara pointed to a group of men standing near a control panel. "Those workers have access to the machines. They must know what's happening," she whispered. Dr. Lila nodded. "Let's get some samples from the air and the ground. We need solid proof," she said. The humans set up their equipment while Zara and the other girls kept a watchful eye on the workers. As they worked, they heard a loud bang from the mine. A huge explosion sent debris flying into the air. Panic filled the group as they ducked for cover. "What was that?" one of the girls exclaimed, her voice shaking. "It's a sign that they are not careful." "This could be worse than we thought," Mark replied, his brow furrowing with concern. They waited for the dust to settle, knowing they had to be cautious. Once the chaos calmed, the team resumed their investigation. They collected samples of the air and soil, recording their findings. Zara stayed close to Dr. Lila, helping her understand the land. "This river flows through our city. If they continue mining, it will be poisoned," Zara said, her voice filled with worry. "Then we have to stop them," Dr. Lila replied, her eyes firm with resolve. "We will show the galaxy what they are doing." As the sun began to set, they gathered enough evidence to make their case. The scanner beeped with alarming numbers, showing dangerously high levels of pollution. Mark felt a surge of hope. "We have what we need. Now we just have to get this information out there," he said. Suddenly, they heard footsteps approaching. The group quickly hid behind some bushes, their hearts racing. A pair of miners walked by, laughing and joking. "Did you see the way the gas spread today? It's not our problem, right? We're just here to get paid," one of them said casually. Zara felt anger rising inside her. "They don't care about us at all," she whispered, clenching her fists. Mark nodded, his expression grim. "That's why we have to expose them. They think they can do whatever they want without consequences." As the miners walked away, the group took a deep breath, feeling the weight of their mission. They knew they had to act quickly. "Let's head back and plan our next move," Captain Mark said. "We have to rally support from other planets and get the truth out before it's too late." The return journey was filled with a mix of worry and determination. Zara felt a sense of purpose growing within her. She knew they were fighting for more than just their city. They were fighting for their home and their future. Together, the humans and Xylarians had forged a strong bond, and they were ready to face the challenges ahead. As they approached the city, the stars began to twinkle in the night sky, a reminder of the vast universe they were fighting for. With their evidence in hand and newfound courage in their hearts, they felt ready to take on the mining company and protect Xylara from further harm. The night sky was a deep blue, sprinkled with stars, as Captain Mark and Zara prepared for the final showdown against the mining company. They had gathered a small group of Xylarians and humans, each one determined to save their world. The atmosphere was tense but electric with anticipation. As they huddled together, Mark spoke, his voice steady. "Tonight, we are going to confront the leaders of the mining company. We have proof of the damage they're causing, and we cannot let them get away with it any longer." Zara stood next to him, her heart pounding. "We need to show them the truth. If we can expose what they are doing, others will join us," she added, her voice filled with conviction. The other Xylarians nodded in agreement, their eyes shining with courage. The group made their way to the mining headquarters, a large building illuminated by harsh lights. It stood tall and imposing, like a fortress. They moved quietly, sticking to the shadows. Captain Mark led the way, holding the scanner that measured pollution levels. Zara and her friends followed closely, ready for whatever might happen. As they approached the entrance, they spotted two guards standing by the door. Mark turned to the group, his expression serious. "We need to distract them. Zara, do you think you and your friends can create a diversion?" Zara nodded, her face set with determination. "We can use our lights to create a colorful display. It will catch their attention," she said, glancing at her friends. The girls agreed, excited to help. Zara and the other Xylarians quickly gathered some small glowing stones from their pockets. They had saved these special stones for festivals, but tonight they would use them for something even more important. As they began to throw the stones into the air, they burst into brilliant colors, blue, green, and purple, lighting up the night like fireworks. The guards immediately turned to the dazzling display, eyes wide with surprise. "What's happening?" one guard exclaimed, stepping away from the entrance to get a better look. This was their moment. "Now!" Mark shouted. The group rushed past the distracted guards and entered the building, hearts racing. Inside, the atmosphere was cold and sterile. Bright lights flickered overhead as they hurried down the hallways, looking for the main office. As they approached a large door labeled Executive Office, they could hear voices inside. "We'll just keep mining. No one can stop us," a voice boomed. Zara felt a surge of anger. This was the man responsible for their suffering. Mark took a deep breath and knocked on the door. "We need to talk," he called out, his voice echoing in the hallway. The voices inside stopped and footsteps approached the door. It swung open, revealing a group of surprised executives. "What is the meaning of this?" one of them snapped, looking taken aback at the sight of humans and Xylarians together. Mark stepped forward, holding the scanner. "We have proof of the damage you're causing to this planet. It ends now," he declared. The executives exchanged nervous glances, but the main leader, a tall man with a stern face, laughed. "You think you can threaten us? We have power and we will not stop for anyone." Zara stepped up beside Mark, her voice steady. "You may have power, but you have no respect for life. Look at what you've done to our home." She held up the scanner, showing the alarming pollution levels. The numbers glowed bright red, a clear warning of the destruction they had caused. The executives looked at each other, their expressions shifting from disbelief to concern. Mark pressed on. "If you don't stop your operations, we will gather support from other planets. We will expose you and your company to the galaxy." The leader sneered but stepped back, visibly shaken. "You think anyone will believe a bunch of aliens and a few humans?" he scoffed. Zara felt her anger boil. "We have evidence, and we will take it to the Galactic Council if we must," she shouted, her voice ringing with resolve. Just then, a loud crash echoed from outside the building. The group turned to see a massive crowd of Xylarians and humans gathering, ready to support them. They had come to stand together against the mining company, holding signs and chanting for justice. The executive's bravado faded as he watched the crowd swell. He knew they were outnumbered and outmatched. "Wait! Let's discuss this," he stammered, desperation creeping into his voice. Zara seized the moment, her heart racing with hope. "We are willing to negotiate, but only if you agree to stop the mining and clean up the damage you've done." "You can't keep ignoring us!" The leader hesitated, realizing that they had no choice but to listen. With the evidence in hand and the crowd supporting them, they had gained the upper hand. The fight for their home was far from over, but together they had taken the first crucial step toward change. The battle was won, but the war for Xylara had only just begun. In the days that followed the showdown at the mining headquarters, the City of Luminara began to change. Captain Mark, Zara, and the Xylarians worked together to create a new plan for their planet. The mining company had agreed to halt its operations, but they knew this was just the beginning. They needed to rebuild their home and ensure that such destruction would never happen again. One bright morning, the community gathered in the central square. Colorful banners waved in the breeze, and the atmosphere buzzed with excitement. Zara stood at the front, her heart racing with anticipation. Mark stood beside her, ready to address the crowd. "Thank you all for being here," Zara began, her voice strong and clear. "We have fought for our home, and now we must work together to heal it. We need to bring back the beauty of Xylara." The crowd cheered, filled with hope. Mark smiled at Zara's courage. "Together, we will not only clean up the damage, but also build a sustainable future. We will protect our environment and make sure that no one can harm it again," he added, raising his fist in solidarity. Zara stepped down from the podium, feeling the energy in the air. People began to break into small groups, discussing ideas on how to restore their land. The humans joined in, sharing their knowledge about environmental protection and sustainable practices. As days turned into weeks, the city transformed. They planted trees and flowers, revitalizing areas that had been scarred by mining. Children laughed as they played among the newly sprouted plants, and adults worked together, planting seeds of hope for the future. One afternoon, Zara and her friends were in a park planting new trees. As she dug in the soil, she felt a sense of peace wash over her. "This will be a beautiful place again," she said, smiling at her friends. They agreed, their spirits lifted by the work they were doing. Meanwhile, Captain Mark met with other planets' leaders. He shared the story of Xylara's fight and the cooperation between humans and Xylarians. They were eager to help, sending resources and experts to assist with the restoration efforts. Soon, their efforts began to bear fruit, and new technologies were introduced to clean the environment. As time passed, the bond between the humans and Xylarians grew stronger. They held festivals to celebrate their unity, sharing traditions and cultures. The two groups learned from each other, creating a vibrant community filled with life and laughter. One day, during a festival celebrating their newfound friendship, Zara stood on a stage with Mark. They looked out at the crowd, which was larger than ever before. The square was filled with people from all backgrounds, laughing and dancing together. "This is what we fought for," Zara said, her heart swelling with pride. Mark nodded, his eyes shining. "And we will continue to fight for it. We must stay vigilant and protect our home," he replied. The crowd erupted in cheers, echoing their commitment to a brighter future. As the sun began to set, casting a golden glow over the square, Zara took a moment to reflect on their journey. She remembered the fear and uncertainty they had faced, and now, here they were, stronger and more united than ever. The scars of the past would heal, and Zilara would flourish once again. That night, they held a ceremony to honor their planet and the fight they had won. Zara stood in front of the crowd, a candle in her hand, symbolizing hope. "Let this light remind us of our strength and our commitment to protect Zilara. Together, we will create a future where no one can harm our land again." The crowd held their candles high, illuminating the night sky. It was a beautiful sight. Humans and Xylarians united in their love for their home. As they sang songs of hope and resilience, Zara felt a warmth spread through her heart. They had faced darkness, but now they stood together in the light. With the dawn of a new era, Zara and Mark knew their work was not finished. They had built a strong foundation, and with each passing day, they would continue to nurture their bond and protect the beauty of Zilara. Together, they would create a world where harmony thrived, ensuring that the mistakes of the past would never be repeated. It was truly a new beginning for their planet, and they were ready to embrace it with open hearts.